His most recent article in Interpress Services called U.S. Demand for Deep Centrifuge Cut is a Diplomatic Ploy. Gareth Porter, why do you say that? And can you assess the latest developments in the Iran nuclear talks? Kerry just returned from Vienna.
Well, you know, this set of negotiations has been portrayed for the last few months, particularly by the Obama administration, as very, very difficult because the United States has been making its most extreme demands, really, on Iran in terms of the level of enrichment capability that would be allowed under the agreement. The United States has been conveying the idea that Iran would have to accept very, very deep cuts in its enrichment capability under the deal, and that has really portrayed the talks as very difficult to reach agreement on, and I think that has been that's been the dominant impression conveyed by the news media, of course, over the last few months. But those signals have changed dramatically just in the last few days, and what has now appeared to be true is that the United States and Iran are really close enough to a deal so that if the United States were to make a political decision in the next few days, I think that it's still possible that they could reach agreement by the deadline on Sunday. So I think that situation has really changed quite dramatically. And the problem that we have seen in the past few months has indeed been that the United States has made demands for as few as 500 to 1,000 centrifuges out of a total of nearly 20,000. That, of course, would have been unacceptable to Iran. But the reality is that Iran has always been ready to make a deal for roughly 10,000 of its centrifuges remaining in operation under the deal, because that is how many have actually been operating for the last couple of years. Half of their centrifuge force has been, in fact, inoperable. It has not been hooked up, and it's clear that the Iranians have always been ready to make a deal, really to trade off roughly half of its centrifuges in return for being able to, in the longer run, have an industrial strength centrifuge force. And that is really the question that remains unresolved. How long is this deal going to last? I think that's the final question that has to be negotiated. I think that the United States and Iran have, in effect, already agreed that they can come to a compromise roughly at around 10,000, maybe a little bit less, centrifuges, or what they call separative work units, which is the equivalent of the work of the primitive IR-1 centrifuges that Iran now has in operation.